Hi, everybody. How are you? How are you doing? Happy Friday, wonderful Friday of October. Maybe it's a little bit later when you're tuning in from this. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, it's the right place, the right time to be. So, today we're going to do another conscious conversation with a special guest. She is here. Let me see if I can bring her in about basically what kind of a world we want to live in. We'll see what she has to say. Oh, I don't know. Were you able to get that? Yeah, awesome. Hi.
Hello, let me just shine this up. Okay, a little clean. Okay, there
Yeah.
we go.
How's it
Hi.
going?
Oh, so good, thanks. How's your day going?
Good, good. Just a little bit of like a later start, but you know what? Body probably needs it, so just rolling with the
Yeah.
flow. Yeah.
Hmm.
How's East Coast?
It's super windy yesterday and today.
hmm
So that's nice. I always really like when there are windy days. I noticed this summer that it's like I really feel it. It's like fresh air blowing in, you know?
Yeah, 100%. You said it's more rainy out there too, right?
Um, Yeah, it
Or
rains more days of the week, but this time it's actually like a sunny, windy. So I was thinking of going to the beach like later today or tomorrow, maybe to go live and check out the
beautiful.
waves and share it with everyone.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, I'm just working with some technical things right now, Jill, and we will introduce you while I'm getting this going. But how's the face look? Because I know sometimes last time it shifted on me.
Oh, no, it's
We're
good.
in
How's
full.
mine?
Okay, you're good. It might be like you might need to raise it a little bit, your camera. Yeah, that's good. Because I know
Okay,
sometimes when you split the screen, it just cuts it off at certain angles, but we're good.
there.
Yes.
Welcome.
So, yes, everybody, welcome, welcome. This is Jill, and I will let Jill introduce herself.
Hello, Carly's audience. I'm sure you are all very wonderful people. I'm so happy to be with you today. My name is Jill Shireen. I am a registered nurse. I work in community health, and that's really my bread and butter. That's what I really care about. So, yeah.
Jill's a really good human being for anybody watching. She's very heart-centered. She's very intuitive, wise woman, if I may add. And Jill and I actually met online through Sahara Rose, for those of you that know or are aware of Sahara's work. And this was back when we were both in Toronto, and then we just ended up connecting in physical format. um,
Oh, and I see my
but
friend
yeah,
Laura is here. Hi, Laura. Laura is also a heart-centered individual.
so beautiful to connect to so many people.
Mm.
Okay, so Jill, thank you for being here. I want to ask you one question. What this whole series is off of basically is what kind of a future do you want to live in? Um, and it can be anything, whatever you really feel called to share. Maybe it's something regarding our planet, maybe it's something regarding humanity, maybe it's something regarding nature and just how we've been living and what you really, really want to live in. And feel free to dream big and just express it all.
Hey, there are so many different directions that we could go in with this. And I know, like I was sort of thinking about it earlier this morning and
Really.
decided I was just going to intuit in the moment. Um, so let's go inward and pick a direction. Um, the kind of world that I want to live in is one that's based on like collaboration and support. We, everybody approaches one another with open hearts and kind of giving each other the respect and the physical and emotional space that we all deserve. Um, and when I say that, what I'm picturing, what I mean is like when we're out living our everyday lives and we cross paths with strangers, that there is this sense that everybody belongs and that everybody is on the same level, so to speak. It's kind of like, how much do you acknowledge
Mm-hmm.
duality when you want to get away from it? So what I mean when I say everyone is on the same level is that we are all happy, we are all healthy, we are all wealthy in whatever way that means to us, so that when we go out in the world, we shine from a place of abundance. That's what I mean. Um,
That's beautiful. I love that. Yeah. Can you express maybe to some people just the term of duality and what that means for you? I know you had brought that up with wanting to go out into the world and shining from this place of pure abundance and pure, I guess I would call it sacredness of who we really are, and
yeah,
equality in that sense. So, yeah, if you can dive into duality and what you mean by that in this kind of world that you picture.
totally. Yeah. Thank you. What a great question. Um, So what I mean is, like, I wanted to say we're all on the same level, which is me acknowledging that right now I feel like humans are not on the same level. And there are so many ways that we could interpret that. We could talk about it in terms of physical health, mental health, financial abundance. Literally speaking, um, when you're walking down the street, and I'm thinking of like my days in Toronto, like there are people who sit on the ground, sit on benches, SUVs, like on those levels.
Oh, hello? Jill, are you there? And just cut out a little bit. Give it a second and see if it comes back. Hello?
Okay, how's that?
Jill, you're there?
I'm back. What happened?
You just cut out for a little bit. I think
Oh,
the last part I heard you talking about was wanting or seeing, even in Toronto, like people sitting on the streets and in benches and SUVs, somewhere around that
mhm.
ballpark.
Okay, cool. So
Mm.
yeah, so it's like the world that we live in now has us playing these roles and wearing these goggles, where that's how we interpret things. And it's whichever sort of level out of that example I gave you choose, like the societal rules mean that when you make a choice about which level you want to vibrate at, you're making a statement about your identity and your level of
Mm-hmm.
abundance in your life. Um, so I think that in the future that I envision, we're all on the same level, in the sense that we respect whichever physical level somebody wants to sit at.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I honor, I want the future that I see is one in which we honor each other's truths.
Mm. One more time.
Yeah.
100%. That feels so good and so warm. Yeah, and what do you think? Because, I've heard a few, like, what you're saying is like something that has been a pattern that I've heard from a lot of us, right? Even Ram Dass, right? In one of his documentaries, it's on Gaia. I can't remember. I think it's just called Becoming Nobody, actually. I think that's what the documentary is called, by Ram Dass. Ram Dass is a spiritual teacher, right? And his, at least my take of one of his major teachings is just to really be present in love as much as
Mm,
you can, like just unconditional love with who you are, with your body, with your mind, with your emotions, with your thoughts, with how you're living, with who you're connecting with all of it, right? Even the dark stuff. Just be present in unconditional love, right? And what you're saying about the ability for us to be free and who we are in our truth, is exactly what he said too, right? In his documentary, where he similarly also wants to pray and hope and one day see, a world where people are free. We live in freedom, like complete wholeheartedly freedom, right? So, following suit with that, my next question to you, just out of pure inspiration, would be from where we are right now and with maybe what you've observed in this world moving through your journey in your life, what kind of steps would you offer to move in this direction of we're all free in this?
I love it. We're all free to choose our truth. We're all free to also honor each other's truths too, like that's a choice we make every second. Um, what was the question? How do we move towards that reality?
Yeah. How would we move from where we are right now
Mm-hmm.
and what you've seen, what you've observed in this world through your life experience? How or what are some solutions or some ideas that you could offer to the audience watching, like to move in the direction of their truth and in honoring other people's truth?
Mm-hmm. Um, it starts from within. For me personally, I don't necessarily want to assume that like my self-care methods are a one size fits all. What's been super, super helpful for me in uncovering my truth and then working through giving myself permission to live my truth. And then finally, like giving others permission to live in their truth kind of follows naturally. It really just falls into place once you give yourself permission. And that's really like where it starts. That's my spiritual theme this week about how everything starts from within.
I love it.
Yeah. So I've done just being with myself, what you were saying about being and holding a space of love. That is the theme every day when I sit down to meditate or reflect, pull cards, or journey for wisdom and speak to my guides. It's always from a place of like holding myself in love.
Mm,
And you initiate anything that you initiate from that like emotional vibrational intention will take you further down the road towards love.
that's beautiful too. And it makes sense in the world that we live in with like attracts like, right? We
Mm,
always, I think what's coming up for me too now as I like kind of feel more into this is the cause and effect. We live in a world that is cause and effect. So we do something, we think something, we act on something, it does have an effect, whether viewed as positive or negative, right?
mhm.
Um, yeah, it's really, really interesting. So yeah. And in terms of equality for people, do you want to offer any other insight there or any, I guess, kind of,
Mm.
yeah, it could be anything, like really big or small, like what you see we could do, even somebody
Yeah.
could start doing right now to start moving towards that.
I Again, same theme. It starts from within. I just spent, for those of you who don't know, six years working in community health at the City of Toronto. And I learned so much about equality in that like amazing advocacy work that I feel so lucky to have been able to do in that job. And what I really learned in that space, like day in, day out, is that you never know someone's story when you cross paths with a stranger or a new connection, like whether it's like a business client or a friend of a friend, someone wants to introduce you to, it's like I feel something that's been in my experience is like you go into it very, very excited. And then there's kind of this like moment of like, huh, you observe something, that's like a little bit off, for lack of a better word.
Mm.
And again, like that's the journey of self-love and recognizing that that's a reflection of something that's going on within you, first of all. Um, and then kind of taking a step back. So, and I find that this works really well with connecting in love with complete strangers, like when I'm out in public, running errands, walking down the street, getting a coffee, is being able, putting yourself in sort of like that observer position as to you and as yourself interacting with somebody that you don't know very well. Um, and saying like, like let's say Carly and I are chatting and she says to me like, "Oh my gosh," not that she would, but I went to the coffee shop today and this person really upset me in the line and la, like you're having a conversation with a friend like that. And then it's like,
Right.
what would you say to your friend in that situation? Is like, I bet it's not about you, and I'm sure that that person maybe had a lot going on that day, or maybe that person just had an interaction that was out of vibration with love, and that's they're unconsciously passing that on, so taking a step back really helps to find compassion in situations like that. And that's what I think we need for more equality in society, because a lot of the assumptions that we make about things and experiences and people that we perceive to not be equal to us um, is really just interpreting things out of a lens that is not in vibration with love.
It's construed.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like we've got goggles on, you know? Yeah.
Wow.
Um, Equality is something that's important to me. Um, yeah, because you can just you can just see it. You can see what people are carrying around with them.
Yeah. I have to say, I have to share right now that I'm really appreciating this conversation, and I'm really appreciative that you brought up this subject of equality and of being able to hold compassion for others' journeys, right?
Mm.
It's it really is so true. We never know what somebody else is experiencing, right? And we never know like the thought patterns that anybody could be going through, or what's happening in their personal lives, and how they're trying to maneuver throughout their day or throughout the week, or sometimes throughout longer periods, shorter periods of time, right? Um, yeah, I don't know. I always kind of come back to this saying in my mind with, I respect your journey. I respect your journey. And I feel like
Wow.
energetically when I say that too, it just kind of opens everything and just clears everything. So it's very like neutral,
Hmm.
it's very open. And to me,
Hmm.
that energetic, or that energy feels very much like freedom to me. So I'm matching the
Yeah.
vibration, the frequency of freedom too. And I think what you said about coming from a place of love in any given social situation, right? Like even if you're walking down the street and you're just internally like feeling to yourself and saying to yourself, I am love, I am love, and you keep repeating this in your mind, for example, your body starts to fill up with this feeling, and you start literally, your energy is just emanating love. And what you start receiving from that point, like in interactions and in how people exchange even eye contact with you, right? It's a real genuine connection, I find. And I also find it's just one of complete respect and complete of I see you on a real level, right? On a soul level, on a deeper level. So I find
Mm-hmm.
that's really beautiful too. Um, and I 150,000% agree with you about compassion in the movement towards essentially holding space for each other in
Mm-hmm.
equality and holding space for us to share, if it's our hurts, our honesty, what's going on, and to just say, okay, like, I see you, I hear you, I respect your journey, I'm holding space for you. And it's all love. And I feel like any transformation that comes from that space and that place is very powerful, tenfold. So I just needed to share. Thank you for saying what you said.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. And what's your personal take on compassion? Um, I know you can't really share because of like confidentiality and respect, right, for different clients and different situations too. But I feel like
Mm-hmm.
even in the line of work you're doing, I feel like you would see, you would maybe experience dynamic situations of different levels of what you see with emotions and experiences, right? So what would be your
Mm-hmm.
take on developing compassion in a sense of being respectful to others and being respectful to self?
Um, it starts from what you said about I respect your journey. Part of respecting someone's journey is accepting that they are at where they're at. And I speak that way from the role that I had as a community health nurse, showing up somewhere and being like, I have a pamphlet for you. Let's talk about nutrition, like that really taught me how to respect people's journeys in that sense is that like just because I show up and I say like, you should be having 5 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, like
Mm-hmm.
you can say that from a place of love and mean it and say, I want to help you. Um, where the compassion comes in and like that is definitely informed by compassion, it doesn't it comes from a high vibration intention. Um, but the other thing to keep in mind and where the compassion comes in is looking at the big picture. Some people, um, someone can't leave the house because she's at home with the kids all day. So she hasn't gone out to the grocery store to get fruits and vegetables in the last 2 days. Or, a family is on a tight budget and there's a lot of them living together in one apartment. Or, somebody, we all, everyone sort of has their comforts that they go to, and maybe someone's comforts and habits that they're used to is a meal that doesn't have a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't get you make better progress in your good intentions with trying to raise someone's vibration when you are able to meet them where they're at. And meeting people where they're at stems from what you said about respecting people's journeys.
Mm-hmm. It's really, really beautiful. Yeah, I feel like, what's your take on trying to fix things versus trying to,
Yeah.
I don't know, any other takes, I guess?
I love the direction we're going in here.
I know, it's
That's so
yeah, we're just
great.
going.
Um, I think that fix is like kind of a harsh word, you know? It's the energy of it to me is like fixing the broken table, you know? And like
Mm,
that's a very like three-dimensional thing, It's like, okay, the hinge fell off or whatever, like get the tools and like, you know, do the stuff and it's fixed. Great. Um,
do the
humans are a little
3D
bit
stuff.
I love the action.
Yeah,
Hammering.
that's what cute. Continue, continue.
Humans are more complex, so
Hmm.
you you have better chances at success when you recognize that you're not human is not a table. There's a little bit more there, and you've got to approach helping people from a place of I'm not my agenda. Like my agenda should not be, fix the table, get so and so to start eating, 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, get them from 0 to 5. Like maybe that is um, an end goal in my mind that I would like for that person. Um, but really, if I really want to help them, then my goal should be figuring out what their goals are.
Hmm.
So it's not even fixed because approaching it from that vibration is very I'm going to go in and I'm going to fix the problem and I'm going to be the hero and everything's going to be shiny, like that's not how it works. We need that feminine, right?
Yeah. So you're saying come to it from the perspective of the other individual.
Yeah, we're totally talking about community health nursing right now. I love it. Um,
Well, it's good that you bring up community too, right? Because I feel like, this is another thing that I'm seeing throughout all of these conversations about future, right? A lot of people are really, it's beautiful because these conversations, it's coming from everyone's heart and everyone's talking, or a lot of people I've noticed have been talking about what community really is and what that really feels like, and like dreaming a future of how could this actually really shape up for us, right? Like, how can we actually
mhm,
come together and what kind of ways can we do that, right? And there's been some really, really
mhm.
beautiful examples like community gardening, right? And sharing
Yeah,
organic fruits and vegetables with your neighbors, right? And, you know, it's beautiful. Even one thing that's coming to my mind right now is last time I was in Toronto, right? We
mhm,
were walking through Trinity Bellwoods Park and we saw tents set up everywhere. And the
mhm.
tents were for the homeless community. And I'm like, that's, I mean, given the situation, right? It's a little like, okay, but the positive aspect to that is that it's wonderful because now it's like a whole community that people have. Like they are literally in just tents sharing like a circle community, and all they would need would be like a community garden, maybe a water filtration system, and you're set. Like
Yeah, I
that's
love that.
beautiful.
That
I'm
and
getting
this,
some.
what you're describing, it's it's making me think of what we were saying about levels, because what a
Mhm.
what a great way for people to set the tone in terms of what's happening in a community space. And, you mentioned the word circle, like it was very obvious that it's a supportive community. You can just feel it, right?
Yes. Oh,
Um,
yes. That circle works a lot more differently than a hierarchy too, than a pyramid or a triangle. When
Definitely,
you're
which is what
able.
I like didn't even realize, but what I was describing and pointing out when I was saying there's someone sitting on the ground, there's someone sitting on the bench, that's that.
Mm,
Yeah, and that
yeah.
and that has to do with the word fix too and how we approach problems, right?
Yeah.
It's I only have one hand because we're doing this on my phone. But the action I'm trying to
Oh,
make is the
what is
action I'm
this?
trying to make is yeah, what you were saying about when you make a choice to respect someone's journey, the possibilities that it opens up, you know?
So good, so abundant, so divine, so magical, so inherently good, so right place, right time, so beautiful, so I don't even know what this word is, enigmatic, but that's just coming through right now. So I'm going to look that up later.
Yeah, I
Do you
love
know what that
it.
is?
I
Enigmatic?
think it sort of means like it's like hard to describe, but you understand it like on an intuitive
Makes
level.
sense. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Um, I lost it, but anyways, yeah, totally.
Yeah. Um, I just want to touch base on like the circle reality too that we were talking about,
Mm,
because I feel from personally, I'll choose to share this. So going through my 4-year psychology program that I'm currently in, I'm in my fourth and final year, but a couple of years ago, I remember sitting in I think it was like a research class, um, research for psychology or something. I can't remember the title, but I remember sitting in this class and some of the things we were being taught, I really, really did not resonate with it. And in that moment, if I'm being completely open and honest, I really didn't like it to the point that it just turned gears in my stomach in the wrong way. And I just decided to go outside and leave because I was like, it's, I don't know, it's not universal truth.
Dude,
um,
I've got so much to say about that. Finish your story.
but of course, younger version of Carly moving through this world and trying to navigate all the pieces, right? Still learning about how to respect others' journeys and stuff while still holding, um,
Mm,
myself in that place of love and respect and compassion, right?
mm,
I ended up walking out of there and I ended up going to this arboretum at my school, which is just beautiful. There's like a pond, there's frogs, there's rabbits, there's chipmunks, there's lily pads, there's an abundance of flowers and trees, you name it, it's all there. I meditated for 15 minutes, went to this place of complete just I am energy, there's no resistance. I'm here right now. I'm floating with the universe in this moment at my school. And I remember when I walked out there, it was gray. The sky was gray, and it was kind of like, fitting to my mood at the time. And in my meditation, my inner being came to me and she said, "Hey, do you still want to be on this planet right here and right now?" And I'm like, "Yes, of course I do." And then she's like, "Okay, well, while you're on this planet, what do you want to do here? Because you're here and right now. So what do you want to do?" And in that moment, I was really deep in meditation too. Like I was really in a pure space. And I kind of panicked in that moment because I was like, what do I want to do? It's such a simple question, but it's like just so, it's served on a plate that's just so direct for you, right?
mhm,
And in that moment of kind of panic, it was really beautiful because I just let go. Like I let go of all the thoughts, all the resistance, and I could just feel it kind of subsiding. And in
mhm,
that, it was like my heart was speaking, not my
mhm,
mind, not my voice, but my heart was literally speaking. And my heart said, I want to teach people about spirituality, but I want to do it in a way that's non authoritative. And what I mean by that is, I don't want to stand at the front of a classroom or at the front of the people. I want to be sitting equally with them and I want to be in a circle with them because we are all equal. And even though, like, I am teaching, I am still learning from the next person and the next person and the next person. I can be learning from somebody that's younger than me. I can be learning from someone that's older than me. And it's just this equal feeling of this abundant knowledge being streamed through on all levels. So that was the first decision that I came through out of that meditation was I'm a spiritual teacher. Like it's just my soul talking through me and doing it in a way that's different, maybe, right? But doing it in a way that feels really good and really pure is very, very important. And that equality aspect, very, very significant too, that circle aspect, right? Because it's like if you're sitting in a circle versus, how teaching could be where you're sitting in rows and rows and rows and one person at the front, which is still a hierarchy system. Everyone's conditioned to look at one person at the front, just like conditioned to look at one head honcho at the top of a pyramid, right? But if you're in a circle, you can look at the person across from you and say, wow, I really see myself in you. and I see myself in you because of this aspect. And then you can look at the next person. You're just more openly connected to them and directly connected to them. And that it just, you see it in physical manifestation too. Um, so just, yeah, I think it's beautiful. The whole equality thing, all of it.
Really, that was so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that story.
Yes, my
That
honor,
was,
my joy.
oh my gosh. What a moment of contrast for you to learn about what it is you want to set into motion.
Hmm. Real contrast, real like one to one work. Inner being came in, said, "Hey, I'm here. We're gonna do this right now." And you know what's actually really interesting about that? Actually, after I got up out of that meditation, I cried. I cried because it was like the truth that was in me that finally was able to express through me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. Like, this is what I'm going to do. I made my decision that day, like, this is what I'm going to do. And I was crying because I was so happy and so, like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is like beautiful. This is, it's everything for me right now. Literally, the gray skies started clearing out and the sun started shining. And then I cried even more because that was like my sign, like, I'm on my path. And I remember calling one of my really good friends at the time and I was saying, like, I was like, oh my gosh, I just had this like breakthrough and I was bawling on the phone. I was like, thank you for holding space for me. Like this happened, this happened, this happened, and I know what I'm gonna do now. And I'm like, I'm so happy and so geared towards it. And I'm like ready to serve humanity and like let's go. And then yeah, I think I really wanted to get ice cream too. So I was like, can we go to Dairy Queen? It
That's
was
so
just
amazing.
yeah, it was just such a it was just a really big moment. But yes,
Beautiful.
yes. So circle inequality, equality for people,
Hmm.
compassion, respect for self, respect for others' journeys.
The
Is there
circle,
anything
you said
else?
it, the circle is what getting into circle formation is what allows us to see the humanity in each other and hold compassion for each other. And
Mhm.
if you're always looking at other people as on a step up or a step down from you and not in that circle mentality, no,
Mhm.
let me rephrase that. When we get into a circle, it makes it so much easier to see where everyone is at on their journey. And it's the
Mhm.
best way to see each other in that way, the best formation to facilitate finding compassion for each other.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is,
Mhm.
Jill.
Mm.
Thank you. Thank
Um,
you so much.
what you said about that it was a research class, right? It was research?
I think so, yeah. I was trying to really, focus in on this class as much as I could,
Hmm.
right? It was just
Hmm.
really, there was this like really strong discord in my own physical
Yeah.
body between, you know, everything. But it was a research applications class, I think, in psychology.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That that really resonates with me because that's kind of where I'm at in life right now is moving like all the respect to researchers. Um,
Hmm.
from it for me personally, what resonates more is moving towards more abstract, more like spiritual, mystical things.
Hmm. And who knows, maybe
Um,
the two can go hand in hand one day.
totally,
Researching
100%.
spirituality. Hmm.
Definitely. Yeah. Um, but yeah, anyways, it just resonated with me because I can totally see and I've been there in those moments too, where it's like um what a great example too, everything we were just saying of all the benefits that come from circular formation. If you sit down in a classroom like that and you're looking at the person and everyone is already sort of in hierarchical like
Mm-hmm.
triangulation,
Yes.
then even the best intended research questions, um, can they still get approached with a circle mentality?
Mm,
Just a
that's
rhetorical question I'll
interesting.
put out there.
Yeah. Comment below what you think to that question. Would love to hear about it. Wow.
Yeah.
Jill, I am so appreciative of you, of your insight, of your wisdom, of just your beingness and your love and who you are, and for sharing this conversation in this space and time. Thank you.
Same.
Um,
I feel exactly the
yeah.
same way. I love listening to you speak. I love the wisdom that you pull from. And I always say that I don't have very little air signs um, in my like major aspects in my birth chart. And I just so appreciate how Aquarius you are, Carly, because it's like a different way of being for me to observe. And I just feel like I learn so much when I'm with you. So I really appreciate you too.
Ah, thank you. Yes. Gotta really focus on like balancing out these energies that are just in the cosmos and the daydreams and the dreams and the different ideas and all of it.
Mm.
What's your sign again? Your main, do you know your
My
sun, moon,
sun is in
rising?
Taurus.
Okay.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. So I'm
Beautiful.
very much like love my routines, love my
Hmm.
like predictability, you know. I always say I need to keep like other like friends who compliment me well are ones who pull me out of my
Hmm.
routines because I just love them so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very like homey, very cozy. That's the Taurus in me.
Yeah, I feel like we touched base on this before too, but Taurus, I feel like Taurus is very, very beautiful too. Very connected to like the earth. This is the image I get when I think of Taurus. It's just like grass and just really connected to the earth, but in such a graceful way. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. It's so
Hmm.
beautiful. Yes. And we
Thank
all
you.
work together. Yes. Yes, so
Yeah.
good. Pulling in ideas, implementing ideas.
Yeah.
Air sign
I
groundwork.
totally like all the what what we just said, what just happened in that conversation is like maybe I'm grounding that idea for you because I was picturing like a velvety, grassy field situation.
Wow.
With
I
like
love how it
happy
works.
animals and people and
Yes.
vegetables.
Yes, this is it though. And if you wanna, oh my gosh, this is what we're doing right now is literally bouncing ideas from each other. But if you want to share this dream that you're envisioning, like what's going on in your mind's eye, please feel free to share
Hmm.
right
Do
here,
you
right
know
now.
what I see in my mind's eye when I get really high vibe like this, whether it's by myself or with a friend, is just like saturation of colors. Like the grass
Mm,
is like rich, rich emerald, and there's like
mm-hmm.
sparkling blue water that we can see from the field. And the sun is shining and everybody is happy and abundant and well fed and pluralistic, snapping for myself. Is that thing we were saying about meeting people where they're at is like how we have these aspects in our charts or talents or things that we're good
Hmm.
at doing. And in this vision, everybody does what they are amazing at, and we all flourish as a result.
Yes, and that is harmony, I believe, in its complete essence, where we all are just being ourselves fully, happily, nourishingly, really connected to who we
Mhm.
are and showing up in this world in a very free, safe, and even like encouraging and supportive way of like, yes, keep being you. You are a gift to this world. What you have to not even give, I mean, yes, give, but what you already are by just being is everything. And by everybody like coming in from this space and dancing in this reality in this way, right? It's beautiful, the things that can happen, right? So beautiful, so much harmony. So beautiful. I was picturing as you were talking about the emerald field in the waters, people carrying baskets on these fields with really big smiles and talking to their neighbors and like picking like their food and fruits. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I see it. And I see like flower fabrics.
Yes. Yes. Really
And of
connected.
course, there's like children laughing and playing.
So cute. Always, 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 always. What a beautiful reality.
Mm, it
Thank you,
is.
Jill. Wow. Tend to balance out. Come back down to earth a little bit.
Mm.
um, is there anything else that you would like to share for this lovely, abundant, beautiful group of people that are watching?
Hmm. Um, I would just love to circle back to the way that we started. Thank you for asking me all of these like wonderful, thought-provoking questions. This was really fun. And my answer to one of the first questions you asked me was it starts from within. So how do we get there to this reality is know that what Carly and I just described is like that's a parallel universe that we just tapped into. That's a reality that is possible, that we all have the power to pull out of the ether. And
Mm-hmm.
the way that we do that is by taking it into our hearts and nurturing it and believing in it.
Mm-hmm. And I think to add on to that too is just looking at your individual life where you are right now and saying, what can I do with right here, right now to um, act on that reality, I guess. So, say for example, dreaming about even a field, maybe you can get outside today and go into a field and really feel that. Feel yourself in that
Mm.
field. Feel how happy you feel, or maybe how different you feel, or maybe go to a garden or go somewhere where there's fresh food in the soil and just put your hands there and just see how that feels. Eat an apple from an apple tree. Feel that. You know, a safe space that's nurturing and nourishing, and feel how it feels to be held in so much love and so much safety and appreciation for who you are and respect, right? Because those are all different components of, I mean, if you would agree, Jill, like this reality that we're talking about, right?
Totally. Yeah.
Different
What?
things. Yeah.
Sorry, finish.
What's that? Oh,
Go ahead.
different things like that kind of add to when you start practicing these things in your everyday life, like right here and now, even if it's just one thing, like I said, like getting outside in nature and feeling that, that's how that pattern builds up to create a bigger reality. This is just what's coming through right now. What were you
It's
going to say,
beautiful.
Jill?
It was something that came through when you were talking about that is that it's embodying, like we're now we're talking about manifestation 101. And it's like
Yeah.
embodying, what did they say to me? Bring it into your physicality to point out what you were explaining is like, yeah, this beautiful reality is all the pieces already available to us. And when you go out into the field, like Carly suggested, you are taking steps towards bringing that reality into the world right here, right now. Stepping into the physicality
Wow.
of it.
I
That's what they
love
say.
it.
So maybe even like,
Thank you.
when I'm like downstairs making my lunch, maybe like I'll take a second and put the bowl on my head, you know? Because you said,
Yes. Oh
right?
my gosh. I'm going to go find a basket and go into that field today.
Yay!
Oh my
Yay!
gosh, thank you. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Jill's guides. Thank you, universe, ancestors, all. Wow. And everybody watching this, thank you to you and your guides, your ancestors, your loved ones, all these ideas that you're streaming through. Thank you. Jill, I feel like we could talk for so many hours, but I think here would be a divine time to just really close this. I'll set this session off, conversation.
When you
Yeah.
said session, my mind said sacred space. Thank you for you always like the
Wow.
beautiful way that you express gratitude, first of all. Thank you for being you. Thank you for doing this and for being committed to raising people's vibrations. It's really beautiful. And I love watching your lives. I love that you're doing it. There's so much light coming through you, and it's just beautiful.
I'm hugging myself right now, Jill, because I'm sending you an energetic hug right now through this hug. Thank you so much. Love you,
I feel
all the
it.
love.
Love you too.
Hmm. So good. Okay, guys, if you're tuning in here, comment below if this resonated for you. Leave a heart, leave a like, whatever platform you're on. Like it, comment. Feel free to share it with your friends and family. And Jill, if anybody wants to follow you on social media, would you like to leave your socials for the people?
Sure, yeah. That would be Saraswati Lifestyle. So it's SARASWATI Lifestyle. That's my company page on Facebook. That's where you can find me on Instagram. And that's where I do a lot of talking about community health and healing and moving with love.
Mm-hmm. And for those of you, Jill is an excellent healer and channeler, I will
Oh,
say.
thank you.
Yes. So be sure to check her out too. And thank you so much for tuning in from wherever you are, sending so much love and so much gratitude and just so much respect. Yes. And Jill, thank you so much for being here again. It's such an honor. Um, Hope that you have a really, really good day today.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you. Okay, everybody, we'll talk soon. Bye, Jill.
Bye.